Have you ever wondered what would happen if the United States just decided to invade Greenland? It sounds like something out of a video game, right? A massive Arctic island, home to fewer than 60,000 people, suddenly in the crosshairs of a superpower. But this isn't a simple land grab. An American invasion of Greenland would trigger a geopolitical earthquake, and the biggest battles wouldn't be fought in the snow. They'd be fought in parliaments, NATO headquarters, and global markets. Let's break down the chaos that would unfold. First, let's get one crucial fact straight. Greenland isn't an independent country. It's an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. This means Denmark is in charge of its foreign policy and, more importantly, its defense. So any uninvited military move on Greenland isn't just stepping on local toes. It's a direct attack on a sovereign nation, Denmark. And here's where it gets really complicated. Denmark isn't just any nation. It's a founding member of NATO, just like the United States. An invasion would mean one NATO ally attacking another, a scenario so unprecedented it could shatter the most powerful military alliance in history. Think about that for a second. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, was created to prevent war in Europe. Its cornerstone is Article 5, the mutual defense clause that says an attack on one member is an attack on all. If the US were to invade Greenland, Denmark would be legally required to defend its territory. Its troops would have to fight back. According to military and foreign policy experts, this act of aggression would almost certainly trigger Article 5. But how does that even work when the attacker is also a member? The entire alliance would be thrown into a crisis. Other NATO members, especially in Europe, would be forced to choose sides. Would they honor their commitment to Denmark and stand against the United States? Or would they sit it out, effectively rendering the alliance meaningless? European leaders have been clear. They would see this as a catastrophic breach of trust and would resist. The end of NATO, as we know it, would be a very real possibility. The diplomatic fallout would be immediate and devastating. Imagine the headlines. The US wouldn't just be seen as an aggressor. It would be seen as a rogue state turning on its closest friends. Decades of alliances, built on trust and shared values since World War II, would crumble overnight. The European Union would likely respond with severe economic sanctions, freezing assets, and cutting off trade. The United Nations would condemn the invasion, isolating the US on the world stage. Countries around the globe would be forced to react, creating a massive geopolitical fracture. Allies like Canada, the UK, and Germany would be in an impossible position. Enemies of the US like Russia and China would seize the opportunity, pointing to American hypocrisy and using the chaos to advance their own interests. The world would become a far more dangerous and unpredictable place. Now, let's talk about the military reality on the ground. Greenland itself has a very small population and no significant military force of its own. But remember, an attack on Greenland is an attack on Denmark. Danish forces, though much smaller than the American military, would be legally and morally obligated to engage, and they wouldn't be alone. It is highly probable that other European nations would send troops and resources to help defend the island, demonstrating solidarity and resisting the aggression. Fighting in the Arctic is also incredibly challenging. The harsh weather, the vast and unforgiving terrain, and the logistical nightmare of supplying an invasion force would complicate any military operation, no matter how powerful the attacker. It wouldn't be a simple case of planting a flag. It would be a messy, drawn-out conflict in one of the world's most extreme environments, all while facing condemnation from the entire world. And what about the economy? Markets absolutely hate uncertainty, and a war between Western allies would be the ultimate black swan event. The moment news of an invasion broke, global markets would plunge into chaos. We're talking a financial crisis that could make 2008 look like a minor hiccup. Supply chains would be completely disrupted. Oil prices would skyrocket. Confidence in the global financial system, which is largely built on the stability provided by the US and its allies, would evaporate. Investors would panic, leading to massive sell-offs. The US dollar's status as the world's reserve currency could even be threatened as countries scramble for a more stable alternative. Ordinary people would feel the impact through inflation, job losses, and the collapse of their retirement savings. The economic shockwaves would be felt in every corner of the globe, triggering a deep and painful global recession. Here's the biggest irony in all of this. The United States already has a significant military presence in Greenland. Thule Air Base, now known as Pacific Space Base, is a critical U.S. military installation that has been operating there for decades under a defense agreement with Denmark. This base is vital for missile defense and monitoring the Arctic. The U.S. already has access to the strategic benefits of Greenland's location without firing a single shot. The strategic interest in the island, its access to Arctic shipping routes, its valuable minerals, and its prime location for defense is already being served through diplomacy and cooperation. So, a hypothetical invasion wouldn't be about gaining a new strategic foothold. It would be about destroying the very diplomatic framework that already provides that access. It's a move that would be strategically self-defeating. Finally, we have to consider international law. The modern world is supposed to operate on a set of rules, and one of the most fundamental is that you can't just forcefully seize another country's territory. It's the very principle that the post-World War II order was built to prevent. An American invasion of Greenland would be a flagrant violation of the UN Charter and countless international treaties. Unless Denmark somehow volunteered to give up the island, which it has repeatedly and emphatically said it will not do, the act would be illegal. The US would lose all moral and legal authority on the global stage. It could no longer credibly condemn other countries for aggression or territorial expansion. The international legal system, fragile as it is, would be dealt a crippling blow, pushing the world back toward an era where might makes right is the only rule. So what would really happen if the US invaded Greenland? Let's recap. Greenland's defense, backed by Denmark, would fight back. The NATO alliance would fracture and quite possibly collapse entirely. Europe would unite in condemnation and likely take concrete actions against the United States. Global financial markets would crash, sparking a worldwide economic depression. And the United States would burn through its political capital, becoming an international pariah. An invasion of Greenland isn't just a military fantasy. It's a recipe for global catastrophe. The real drama wouldn't be soldiers in the Arctic. It would be the complete implosion of the world order as we know it. Thanks for watching, and if you found this breakdown interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into fascinating what-if scenarios. See you in the next video.